What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Scorpio. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Because it's General Energy Weekly Spread. I'm not sure what I'm doing with my hands. You know, we're really just kind of winging these dance moves every time. We're just like, nature my problem, Scorpio. But with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if you were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that are like watching Scorpio, so definitely check them out. One of them happens to be a Scorpio. She's fantastic, and all of them, just a really great group there. But I think you'd like them, Scorpio. But let's get into your first card here. Oh, look at that, Scorpio. We're sailing in the clouds. Because sailing in the clouds, you know what I mean. We got the 8th card of Leo's here, which is the hot air balloon. And with this card, this is a card of balance, uplifting, freedom, going with the flow, rise above, don't resist, new perspective, untouchable, defying gravity, continuous flow, ascension, view, elevate, and feeling good. And the energy that's coming through here, Scorpio, is a defying gravity. And I like that, Scorpio, because I feel like for some, I feel like there's this energy of, I'm almost feeling like that there's this weight that we might have been kind of feeling here, Scorpio, as of late. You know, it feels like that there's like, it's like gravity does feel a little bit heavier. And I feel like that it's really tapping into that resilient side of you, Scorpio, that tenacity to kind of push through this thing, you know, through the challenges when life does feel that it's like going against you, and that you're just like, it's just like constantly weighing you down. It's just, I mean, the energy I'm is getting is really just really heavy. And this could be, maybe there's something that's been weighing on our mind, you know, maybe it's just like or maybe we might even just be feeling, it's just like there's this almost like lethargy maybe that's kind of going down here, that's just like we're even finding it trouble to just like maybe even get out of bed each morning or something along those lines. It's something that it's, and I feel like that it's you know, when I'm thinking about this energy, this Leo energy, they're ruled by the sun, and you know, where the sun, I feel like the sun is a great reminder of when things, you know, where the sun sets and things get dark, Scorpion, we have to go through those dark kind of trying times. The sun does always kind of rise again, and not kind of, the sun rises again. Let's hope the sun, you know, but the sun always rises again, and it brings about a new day and a new opportunities in things. And I feel that the tough thing with Scorpio, even as a sun sign, or even just Scorpio placements, is that there is that intensity that comes with that sign. You know, with great intuitive psychic abilities that you have, you know, there's it seems like there's challenges, and there's constantly always needing to go through this, just like this sense of death and rebirth and death and rebirth, and that is exhausting. But it's that change that I feel, and when you do rise above, that makes you such an really an inspiring sign there, Scorpio. And I do feel like that it gets, we're sure as you level up, the challenges level up. But I do feel like that as you go along this journey, you do approach this thing with more grace and more get more tenacity and things along those lines. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Hmm. Thank you. All right, Scorpio. Let's see what's going on here. Hmm. All right, Scorpio. So you have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Oh, excuse me, small little reversal storm here. The Fool and the Star card in reverse, and then we have the Ten of Wands here. And I do feel like that. That's kind of what I was feeling. This just like real kind of heaviness, that maybe life has been feeling kind of burdensome. Maybe we've had a lot, maybe that we're dealing with at work, or maybe we've had a lot that we've been dealing with in relationships, or it could just even just be just a lot in life in general. Just been just feeling a lot. And there's been this energy, just like the energy's just it's become sluggish, and I feel like that maybe there's just like it's like, and it's not like I feel like you just want to say this way, Scorpio. It's not like it just feels like that it's hard maybe for some to just like kind of muster up that energy to do any sort of like fun, maybe new things, to just kind of approach that like life with just like that carpe diem, just kind of like seizing the day, and just like just I don't know, Scorpio. It does feel that there's some healing that needs to be done here. Maybe we've just went through like a tower moment, because right before the star is the tower. And I almost feel like it's like we're caught in between the two, because after the tower is the moon, and the moon can deal with that, can be kind of tricky energy as well, as far as like journeying into the unknown. And because I feel like sometimes when we get into this place, it's just like where I don't know. It gets as the heaviness just keeps building and building and building with the Ten of Wands here. It's just like at first it's like it may started out with like one thing, but then once we get to like about the seventh, eighth thing, it's just like there's this apprehension. I almost feel that comes on there, because it's just like how much more are we going to be just kind of eating it for a while? When does the sun come into the mix? Like this is the sun card, and where things start to kind of shift into a different direction here. But I feel that there's this, and this might be something too, Scorpio. You're in a judgment-free zone here. This may be something where maybe we need to kind of share these challenges that we might be kind of going through, maybe with a friend, or maybe even like a professional. This is not medical advice, but professional, or maybe something along those lines. If we've just been feeling this sense of, I mean, even almost kind of getting like a hopelessness or something along those lines. Because I feel like because it's tough for water signs. My sun signs in Cancer, and I feel like it's tough for the water signs when we get kind of caught in those emotions. But I feel like with you, what makes you different from the us, out of the three, is that when you are focused on something, it is you go to the depths of it and feel it to such a degree. Where we all can feel, I'm just talking about us water signs, where we all, oh, it's a lot. It's a lot, Scorpio. But I feel like that it's something where it changes you for the better there, Scorpio. And I feel like that when you get through this thing, because you will, Scorpio, it's just like remembering that, because you were ruled by some very powerful planets, having being dual ruled by Mars and Pluto. And Pluto, I'm just thinking about, is that power, that, and then Mars is that drive, that energy, that, and to have those two on your corner, where yeah, they can put you through a lot, but man, they make you shine like a star. you know, and you do, I feel like when you do get through this thing, it is going to be, and who knows what this is, Scorpio. I feel like there's just a need to maybe do some more kind of nurturing things for you. Maybe take some, if this is like with work stuff, take some time off, you know, or, you know, maybe this is like where it's like surroundings ourselves. I'm just thinking with the, that's interesting. Because, yeah, Uranus here in Aquarius, and Uranus rules over Aquarius, but then there's another sign that has two rulers as well. But I feel like, or maybe it's just like surrounding yourself with people who can kind of like, who can, and again, like just who can maybe kind of deal with this stuff, because the Star card is just like a card of unexpected help as well. But hmm, and maybe this could be something too, Scorpio, while we're going, when we find ourselves in these kind of intense emotions. It's like finding different ways to kind of cope with this stuff when we find ourselves getting in too deep. Maybe this is like, and I know this can be tough, especially if we've been kind of feeling a little like just lack of energy, but maybe even just like getting yourself outside, you know, maybe breathing some air, or maybe going to, you know, like going into nature, maybe even getting by some water. I see like the Fool's here by some ocean, you know, the Star cards pouring water here, or just any little thing that you know that can bring you little like some sort of joy in things. I get where, you know, because the thing is, you know, your energy, your energy, Scorpio, your energy is one that it's change is needed, and you know we have to keep pushing through and keep growing and evolving. And I know that that can be tough when but man, when you come out the other side of it, Scorpio, it's just, it's brilliant, you know. And it's like, you know, we've been, I'm sure we've been in this place before, you know, and when we've been feeling kind of down, but, or maybe even very down, but remember how it feels when you do get on the other side of that, you know. And it's, huh? What? Oh, let me get a little bit more on that, Scorpio. Hmm. There's one of your rulers, Pluto. Thank you. Alright, Scorpio, so you also got here, you got the Judgment card, and then you got the Four of Pentacles. And I almost feel like that maybe for some it's just like that we've been going through this challenges because we're getting ready to, like I was saying, we're, you know, we're going through some sort of death right now, you know, some sort of like, you know, like us maybe spiritual type of thing, you know. That's what I'm kind of talking about there, Scorpio. It's like we're getting ready to go through this rebirth in a sense, let me put it that way. And because you know, the Judgment card is, it's just like heeding the call, you know, when it's time to, I'm not, yeah, it's that there's, you know, when it comes to like Pluto energy and things, it's just like it's really, Pluto really does ask a lot when it comes to that transformation and things that we need to let go. And maybe there's something too that, you know, maybe part of this what's going down, I'm not sure, it's like maybe for some it's like we're holding on to something too tight, or maybe getting too fixated on maybe kind of one thing. And it's just like, is this thing kind of, if it's, is it, is it conducive to your growth, or is it becoming again a burden or something along those lines? This may be a way of thinking that's needing to change, or something's needed to grow, or maybe there's this, the way that we take actions or something along those lines. Or all right, just something to think about there, Scorpio. But you know, one more thing with that, I do feel like also with the Four of Coins here, it's kind of just popped in my head that you do have this reservoir, I feel like, of power at your disposal. And even when you feel like you're at your lowest there, if we could just find a way to kind of tap into that, to just like, and I know it's hard, but it's just like putting one foot in front of the other, because it's just like that after the 10 of Wands, you know, there's no 11 of Wands, you know. It's just, it's getting through this thing, learning, you know. It's just like it's harder to say not knowing the specifics of this thing, Scorpio. But I just feel like that it's just like the universe is just kind of rooting you on there, Scorpio, because I feel like that we're getting close to this, that we're getting ready to come to to an end with that, as far as like what we may be kind of, if we've been feeling this weight as of late here. Thank you. All right, Scorpio, we got one of your cards here. Because you got the fourth card, a U, which is the cat card. I like this card. But this is a card of apathetic, disinterested, aloof, my way or the highway, bored, unflappable, cool cat, unaffected, not my problem, what I want, when I want it, cool and calm, and disengaged. And the energy that's coming through here, Scorpio, is the what I want. And maybe for some, maybe we've been in this energy because we haven't been really asking ourselves what you truly want from life. You know, maybe we've been just kind of doing things for, I don't want to say maybe for others, or just doing like maybe what we've expected to do, or I feel like there's almost a need to just kind of be maybe a little more, and that's interesting, this kind of thing with the Four of Pentacles here. There's almost like a need to maybe be more selfish, as far as like, you know, is this where you kind of saw your life going? And if not, what can we do to kind of change this perspective of what can we do to feel more free? Even just thinking with Uranus energy, because Uranus is all about freedom as well, you know, and just like in that independence, that eccentricity to be your true self there, Scorpio. And maybe that's what part of this is. It's just like we've been kind of denying our heart's desire in the sense, and whatever that looks like, you know. And you know, and I feel like that is just, is one of those things that if we were to pursue our things, it would raise our vibration, you know. It's like, you know, maybe this is because you've been kind of been in like your energies the last couple weeks have been like, you know, pursuing passions and doing things that really kind of speak to you. And that's what Leo energy is about. The Knight of Wands is Leo for me. He rules the first two things of Leo and the last of Cancers. So very heart driven, very emotional, very fiery, you know, with the Knight of Wands. And I feel like it's like asking, because I even am almost kind of feeling too, it's just like there's almost like this conservative energy. It's just like I feel like we know what we want, but it's just like maybe we feel that we don't even deserve to have what we want in on this journey here, which that's even an interesting kind of thought there, Scorpio. Let me get some tarot on this and get some details. Thank you. Let's see what's going on here, Scorpio. Alright, so you have the Page of Swords, the Six of Wands, oh, excuse me, yeah, Page of Swords, the Six of Wands, and then the Seven of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Seven of Wands upright here. Let's talk about the Six of Wands. Because I feel like that we're at this state of where we're really on kind of like a tougher part of the journey. Because the Six of Wands, it's like this person's riding in on their horse, being celebrated by everyone that they've completed this mission, whatever they set out to be. But I feel like we're in sort of like the shadow work of this right now. And I almost feel like with the Seven of Wands here, it's making sure that we protect our energies of, more so this of criticisms of ourselves here, Scorpio, when we feel that we've been feeling kind of down, and where our thoughts have been maybe just like, I don't know, I feel like it's almost like we've been kind of like our own worst enemy here, where it's like we've been kind of maybe telling ourselves these lies that we can't do these things, or, you know, been doing stuff that have been kind of bringing us down here. And I feel like that's affecting you from really kind of tapping into your resources. That's another thing with the Seven of Swords. It's, you know, I feel like it's, It's like doing things kind of like a different way here. You know, it's just, especially if we've been, I don't know, just kind of been down. There's a need to, hmm, because our thoughts are powerful, Scorpio. And if we take these ideas and we keep them on this loop and we keep repeating and repeating it, then it brings us down, and it affects our perspectives, and it keeps us in this lower vibration. It keeps us from seeing things again from a higher perspective here. But and that's something that's been going through your head. You know, maybe we have been sort of like in this self-deprecating type of energy. You know, maybe for some, you know, or you know, take it as resonates. You know, maybe some positive affirmations may help you along, where it doesn't necessarily take from the situation at hand. What it does again is help you see from this higher perspective. Because when we're operating from where it's just like, okay, yeah, well, we're going through a tower moment. We're going through. It's just been tough, but I got this. Not quite sure how yet, but I'm figuring it out as I go. You know, like it's just taking it one day at a time until you get that groove again. Until the it's just, but I feel like there's a need to break that cycle if we've been kind of stuck in that. Otherwise, it's just like we're using our stuff. You know, it's like we're using our stuff against us, and it feels like there's just a lot more harm than good is what's kind of coming through here, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. And I feel like, you know, for what you know, and I feel like for what you do want to be in this state of happiness again. I don't feel like that this is something where we just choose to be just feeling depressed or something like that all the time. And I feel like that sometimes can be, hmm. Let's get your last oracle card here, Scorpio. Thank you. Interesting. All right, so you got the second card of Aries here, which is the Eclipse card. And with this card, hmm, if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say that the eclipse is going to be. I want to say it's happening in your sign. I want to say, or it's either in Libra season or in your season. But I had to double check. I think it's in Libra season, but I want to say it's happening in your opposite sign, but Taurus. But I had to double check that. But with this card here, Scorpio, this is a card of union of opposites, conceal, event, mask, upstage, merge, transform, camouflage, hide, overshadow, loss of power, temporary block, support, sudden darkness, and reveal. And the energy that's in, which is no surprise here, Scorpio, the energy that's coming through here is a transform. And I do feel like that whatever the situation that we're going through right now it's transforming you. And I know that that doesn't take away from the suck, Scorpio, but it's like I was telling you before. I feel that where yes, your sign really does kind of your sign goes through it. You are the you're the you know considered the most intense sign of the zodiac, and I feel it's because you go through the most intense experiences, you know, and as we all have our stuff that we go through, of course, but I feel that with that transformative energy, the really great healing aspect of Scorpio is that you can take all of those energies and those experiences and the hard times, where once you get through them, you can pass that healing energy, that star energy, along to others, and then become this beacon of light. And because there, I feel like, you know, again, we all go through this journey, and we all have our sets of challenges, but you know, when we're in that darkness, but light is on the other side of that eclipse there, Scorpio. You know, it's let me get some tarot on this, get some details. Scorpio. Ooh, look at that. What's up, girl? That's what I'm talking about. I like that, Scorpio. So you have the Four of Cups and the Five of Cups in reverse, and then you have the Magician and my girl, the Empress. Let's go and switch back over here, Scorpio. Because I feel like right now, I feel like that there's this energy of where, and I get it, Scorpio, when you're in it, it's harder to see because I feel like we don't understand maybe that why we're going through these situations and why that maybe why the stuff needs to happen. Why can't it just be, where it's like where the disappointments are ending and things along those lines, and that just it just seems to be just like spillage all the time. But the thing with the Five of Cups is this is one of your cards. This is Mars in Scorpio, and but the thing is, sometimes we can be so focused on the hardships and things that we can miss that there are opportunities to manifest abundance. Because that's beautiful there with the Magician and the Empress popping up there. It's a little sidebar, Scorpio. Get a little personal for a second. I've been going through some. I had a, I had some. Someone had a friend of mine had brought. I got some. Where your ruler is Pluto in my chart is in the fourth house, and that's the house of Cancer, and my sun signs in Cancer, and yeah, I got some family things that I'm kind of going through, and someone had brought a perspective up to me that made me feel some kind of way. And not that I'm not on their end. It was just it was a perspective I hadn't thought about, and that made me feel a lot of ways. And what I kind of got from that is, or what I'm still kind of processing from that is that there is this energy of how powerful forgiveness can be, and that how you can take those types of things and channel that into manifest again and that to something beautiful, even though it is something fairly tragic. But but it does it shapes you in a way, and just thinking about all your experiences, Scorpio, up until this point, not even just like it's a whole thing. I was a totally different person years ago, and it's still that little optimism, but it was very different. It was a very different vibration. And now I get to do this type of stuff here to try to help raise the vibration in this sort of way, and then even trying to do more with like the chart analysis and things along those lines. But Scorpio, it is amazing, what you can really manifest, when you tough through this stuff, and not even just tough through, but learn from it, and just really kind of process this thing. And I feel like once that mindset kind of starts kicking in, or that way of thinking start really kind of settling in, because Mercury the Magician is how we think and how we communicate. I feel like it'll change again. You'll go from manifesting that, instead of that sense of woe and depression and things, we start speaking from Empress tones of I like that, of again, of abundance and prosperity and healing and growth, and Empress tones. I love that. I think I'm gonna leave that there, Scorpio, and see what you inspire with the energy that you bring here. It's always incredible, and but if any of that resonated with you, Scorpio, give it a thumbs up and share this, Scorpio. And if whether this be, and even if we're not sharing this with others, maybe even just finding a way of, instead of just letting it be just inside Scorpio, just even like, again, maybe this is through journaling, maybe this is through art, maybe this is through dance, through craft, through just something that just like raises your vibration. I'm not sure, however this, because I feel like it really can do some wonderful things here, Scorpio. But and if you haven't already, Empress, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each week. Excuse me. And then last little bit, if you have any Cancer in your placement there, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, and it's a good old time. Talk about our feelings. It's fantastic. You always got a safe space. So you always hear Scorpio in there. And all the housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Scorpio. And you got the Page of Wands in reverse here, Scorpio. And I almost feel like for some, it's just like we haven't felt this energy of inspiration. It feels like that we've been... it feels like the energy is kind of low. It's almost like we sort of lost that... It's sort of like that childlike aspect of ourselves, that it's where... I don't know, it's like that getting back up again, that... And I feel like that maybe for some there's just this need of needing to again just do some maybe just sort of just creative things or something to kind of help just like get these feelings out there so that turn this stuff into some to get into beauty and things along those lines, Scorpio. But let me get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. And know, Scorpio, that you being a sign of change, that this isn't going to last forever. This is just we're in a cycle right now. We're in a lesson, and it's going to pay off in the long term. It's going to it all makes sense. Why these things need to happen the way that they do, and it all comes together, Scorpio. Huh. Alright, Scorpio. So you got the 33rd card here, which is the conflict and chaos card. Or excuse me, chaos and conflict card. And I feel like that it's one of those things, because listen, I get, one, we got to make sure that if we're going to go through stuff, we got to feel it to heal it, Scorpio. And life is going to be full of chaos and conflict sometimes, but it's just like, how do we because I mean, check out this zebra. It's like it's zebra with some giraffe print. It's just like it's a lot that's going on there that's trying to chip together. It's like it's trying to find ourselves in that chaos and conflict. But it's kind of nice, this energy with this chaos and conflict, how we've been talking about this sort of reminds me of, because for me, I like I know that the Emperor and the Empress are divine counterparts, but for me, the real divine counterparts with the Empress is the Tower, because that's Mars energy. The Empress is Venus, and where Mars, your ruler, brings chaos and conflict and discord and disorder, but he's doing that to remove things that are no longer working for us. Whether this be maybe thoughts, ways of thinking that we've become ingrained in us, or maybe that have been put on by others, or anything that is just lowering your vibration. It clears that stuff out there and makes it gives it that new fertile land for the Empress to come through and to bring about forest and abundance and rivers and again beauty and this wheat and this, I don't know, she just works with this rich earth, that's the dance of the Emperor and of the Tower and the Empress. And they where there's such conflicting energies, but they make such beautiful things together, and I feel like that's what your energies can do, Scorpio, when we really kind of hone this thing and really figure out how to manifest that like to the fullest there, Scorpio. I like that. And I think I'm gonna leave that there, Scorpio. So you stay safe out there, because I get with those emotions run deep, and just be mindful of that. Be kind to yourself. Do some self-care. Always, Scorpio. You absolutely raise your vibration through the roof. And I find too, Scorpio, because Pluto kind of deals with those darker aspects of life, and that bringing that stuff to the surface. And I find that when we understand that stuff, or we felt these things and process this stuff, and we start to make where those kind of like those dark ambassadors can become allies. You can do some powerful work, Scorpio. Really, really powerful work and some powerful healing there. And I will catch you on the next one later.